Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video, an episode of the DE podcast. I am joined with Aiken Rage as usual. Haven't been on the podcast in a couple of weeks. We've definitely had a couple of things that have happened that did not happen, for example, last week. But, personally for me, I've gone back to competing at tennis tournaments. So, definitely prioritizing that. But we're bringing episodes probably every other week, every week. So the schedule still remains the same. So I think Aiken, you can just kick it off. And before we begin, make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and all the platforms as well.
Yeah, all right. So our first topic, we're just going to talk about the Eastern Conference, which is just absolutely crazy. So right now, the top 7 teams, which is nearly all the playoff spots except for the 8th seed, they're only 7 games apart in total. So the Raptors, the Cavs, and the Celtics, they're all in the 5 through 7 seed. They're all pretty solidly there. And then in the top 4 seeds, we have the Bulls, the Bucks, Miami, and Philly. With the Raptors, they're really good now, I have to say. Like
we lost to the Pistons and the Magic. I'm disappointed.
But yeah, so since the All-Star break, which is kind of when we had our last podcast or live stream, obviously, the Sixers are 4-0 with James Harden, so that's worked out really well for them, obviously. The Bulls have lost 4 straight. They've had to play some hard teams. They've had to play the Bucks, the Suns, the Sixers, so it's understandable, but still they've lost 4 straight. So they went from the 1st seed to now the 4th seed. And then the Cavs have also lost 3 straight, again against tough teams. They just lost a tough one to Philly last night. But so the Cavs have gone down to about, I think now the 6th seed, slightly ahead of the Raptors. And then the Raptors, they did beat the Nets twice with Goran Dragic, a little bit of revenge right there. And obviously they lost to the Magic and the Pistons. Fun fact, Dwayne Casey is 3-0 against the Raptors this year.
You didn't have to say that.
The Pistons have beat the Raptors every time they've played. And I think it's because Dwayne has.
You didn't have to say that.
So, but I guess my question is, first of all, could you predict, what are your predictions for the top 4 teams in the conference? Like, who do you think is going to be at the top when the playoffs come around?
I mean, as of the All-Star break, there's been so many teams that have surprised me. I mean, not biased. I think like the Celtics have definitely, we just put out an Instagram post. The Celtics have been surprising. I mean, obviously I kept track of the Celtics Raptors because they're both in a clash for this, 5th through 7th seed. And the Celtics are just playing really low. They go against Atlanta, I believe they lost Jaylen Brown to an ankle injury, and Jason Tatum still went off and, they won the game. So definitely a very resilient team. Also, Philadelphia, I mean, they're playing amazing with James Harden. Looks like the chemistry is there. Chicago is struggling. Last night they had a really tough loss to the Bucks. Really close game. Then also the Cavs are the 6th seed now. And the Raptors are only a game and a half behind the Cavs. So in terms of the 4 teams, I think Miami will stay there. I think Philadelphia will be there. Philadelphia is currently 2nd in the East. I think the Bucks will go there because the Bucks have been playing well. And I think it's between it's like the Bulls. I think it's gonna be like the Bulls and I mean I don't really want to put the Bulls, Cavs, and Celtics in there for the 4th seed, but yeah, but for the 5th, 6th, 7th, I don't have anything right now. I mean, obviously I want the Raptors to be 5th, but again, we still have probably like T minus 20 games left maybe in the season. So the Cavs could go on a run, the Raptors could go on a run, the Celtics can go on a run, which they are. And you never know, maybe Brooklyn can go on a run. But as of right now, I hope the Raptors can get at least top 6 so we can just make the playoffs. Don't have to deal with the play-in tournament. You know what happens there. So but yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you in the top 3. I got to give the Sixers. James Harden is just balling out right now. He seems like every time he goes to a new team, he always seems to just get into phenomenal shape and then just immediately make an impact. Like if James Harden is in bad shape, and he starts not playing games, that's how you know he's gonna leave your team. I feel like he did that with the Rockets, he did that with the Nets, and that so hopefully he doesn't do that to the Sixers.
Yeah.
But he's now somehow back into. He probably lost like 20 pounds in over the All-Star break, got back. So now the Sixers, I honestly think they're going to be the first seed probably, and then I have Miami at 2, the Bucks at 3. I mean, honestly, all three of those, like, it could be any way. They're just all so close to each other. And then the 4th seed, I'm going to say it's the Boston Celtics. I think the Bulls are good, but the Bulls can't really beat good teams, right? They've lost to Atlanta. They lose to the Bucks, the Suns, the Warriors, even the Nets when they were fully healthy. So
the Raptors beat all those teams too.
Oh, well, we'll get to the Raptors in a little bit. But so I think the Bulls, they won't be able to be. I don't think they'll be the 4th seed. I think they'll be around the 5th. I think a Bulls Celtics first round matchup is probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, that'll be
And
great.
then, as much as I want the Cavs to get like a top 5 seed, I think it's just too hard for them. And then I think it's going to be the Cavs and Raptors in the 6 and 7. I don't really know which one. I'll say the 6 just because you like the Raptors. Cavs 7th seed.
Okay.
But I don't know. I feel like if the Raptors play the Miami first round, I feel like that could be a series that they could win easily.
Oh yeah, you saw that triple overtime game.
I did, yeah.
But
did they lose?
I mean, no, we won.
Oh, you won?
But overall, in the since the All-Star break, we've had OG Anunoby. He's out with a fractured wrist. He's out for a couple of weeks actually. Fred VanVleet's been out every game. So honestly, even though we lost the Pistons, we lost the Magic, we were shorthanded. So honestly, if you look at their record, they're 6 games above 500. They're at a solid place. I mean, we literally have more wins than we had the entire season last year. So that's progress. And then we have Scotty Barnes is playing like a beast right now. Definitely you could see it that he's really trying to win games. He scored 28, he scored 24, and then he scored like 20 something too. So Scotty Barnes is definitely playing well. Siakam had 34 points last night against the Magic. Didn't get the dub, but I mean against the Pistons we lost by 2. Against the Magic we lost by 6. So it's all close games. So I think it's just a matter of how we can, kind of execute the next few games going forward. It's definitely bad not having OG Anunoby, who's one of our best defenders. Fred VanVleet, obviously our all-star out there. So hopefully we can just hopefully get it together.
Yeah, so it definitely looks like the Raptors are in a good place for the rest of the season. And I'm excited to see where they're going to go in the playoffs because they could definitely have a type of, underdog run where they make it pretty far. But I think we could talk about a team which is kind of a dumpster fire right now, the opposite of where the Raptors are, which is the Los Angeles Lakers. Right now, everything just, since the All-Star break, things have just gotten worse and worse. So during the All-Star break, we got the news that Anthony Davis, the 20-year-old All-Star who's supposed to be like the main option for this team, he is going to be injured for another 4 to 5 weeks with that ankle sprain. So AD just cannot stay healthy. Ever since they won the championship, he has just barely been playing games in the last 2 seasons. So that, along with that, they have the hardest remaining schedule. So they're literally only playing playoff teams. They're playing the Bucks, the Suns, the Warriors tonight, the Clippers, just all teams that are very, very good. So that definitely does not help you win games, especially when you have injuries too. They're 7 games under 500 right now, 27 and 34. They're sitting in the 9th spot. And then the news came out, I think 2 days ago, that Russell Westbrook actually wanted to be traded in the summer because he's just not having a good time in LA at all. Like I think Russell Westbrook just feels terrible right now. Just like the fans boo him every game. He's having one of the worst seasons of his career, probably since like 2012 or something. And then the Lakers are just bad too. So things have just been bad for him and the Lakers. My question is, are the Lakers the biggest disappointment this season?
Yes. Like you look at the lineup, it's not a bad lineup at all. Like you got LeBron, like top 3 all time probably. Westbrook, AD obviously is not helping, but you know, you look at the team, it's like you got good guys. You got Malik Monk, um you got Austin Reeves, who's a decent rookie. I think honestly, Austin Reeves should leave. Try to go to no, I'm not. I try to go to like a better team because I think based on how he's been playing, I think he deserves better. I think he deserves wins. Maybe go to the playoffs, get a run. Uh, the Lakers got to pull it together. I mean, there was one point in the season where they wanted to fire Frank Vogel, but looks like his job was okay. Yeah, they're definitely just I can't think of anything more disappointing than the Lakers this year.
Yeah, and so right now the Lakers, they're probably not gonna have a playoff spot, like a top 8 seed. They're gonna be in the play-in tournament. They're most likely gonna be the 9 seed unless the Pelicans, who we're gonna talk about later, really make a run. They're 5 games behind the 8 seed Clippers and almost 8 games behind the Timberwolves. With their loss tonight, they'll be 8.5 games behind them. So things aren't really looking good for their seeding chances. And then Charles Barkley, actually, the other night when the Lakers were playing the Clippers, I think it was on Thursday, after the game, he was just like, we have to stop showing the Lakers on national TV. They're literally the most boring team on the planet. All they do is lose. He was like, oh, well, I know what I'm going to say at the end of each game. I'm just going to say the Lakers are old and they're going to, then they lost. He was like, why do we have to show them on national TV? They're just boring and bad. And I gotta ask you, do you think that the Lakers should be off national TV?
I mean, listen, it's like Russell Westbrook. Sometimes you need some comedy on national television. So I have the Lakers on there. No, but I don't know. In terms of their basketball, they're not playing well. It's disappointing to see LeBron. We just need Bronny in the league so LeBron can go just have some fun with his son. Retire, not in the prettiest way, but retire. No, but LeBron's not even playing bad. LeBron's like good. He's solid, but I think there are a lot of games. Like there's Raptors, Cavs, Raptors, Magic. No, I'm kidding.
Just Raptors any game.
Hey, Raptors, Cavs on ESPN. I think it's tomorrow or Monday. But I think there are much better games that can be there. I mean, if they're playing like the Warriors or if they're playing like the Bulls, then sure have it because it would be a decent game. But like tonight, Lakers Warriors, okay, fine. Like it's the Warriors, they're good. The other games, there's Spurs Hornets. Heat versus Sixers is not on national television. It's on League Pass. So would you rather watch a Heat versus Sixers classic like James Harden versus Jimmy Butler, Joel Embiid versus Bam Adebayo, or see Steph Curry wipe LeBron's
see Steph Curry just get through the Lakers 50-year-old defense and score 50 on it. I mean, I don't know.
Exactly. So I mean, but actually, Heat versus I didn't know that. Like Heat versus Sixers is actually a better game. They should have done.
And it's like literally for the 1 seed. Like I think whoever would, if the Sixers would win that game, they would be the 1 seed. So that's like an actual really important game.
Yeah, I have League Pass. Maybe while we're doing the live stream, I'll just watch that game on League Pass. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, but actually speaking of that, we have a live stream at 8:30. The podcast will be up right before it, so no one's gonna really see it, but we have a live stream. But I don't know. The Lakers are just disappointing. I don't know what to do. I think but they have to make adjustment. I think during the offseason, Rob Pelinka has to trade some players or make adjustments to the team, sign younger guys, like draft, like they literally proved it with Austin Reeves. He's such a good player. He deserves better than to play with like 67-year-old guys and be the 9th seed in the West. So, but honestly, I think like the Lakers roster has been falling. The guys aren't playing their best. Like the NBA, the new generation's coming, so they really they need to step up. I mean, you're looking at the best players in the league right now. I mean, even the MVPs like Joel Embiid, Giannis, Jokic. They're still young. They're both. I think they're all below 30 by a good
Yeah, they're
amount.
all
Like,
like 26 and under, I think.
exactly. Yeah. So the best guys are younger than 30, except for maybe even Steph. Steph is a little bit falling. Obviously, we see it. So I definitely think, and yeah. So I definitely think that. And you saw in the All-Star game, right? The guys that were 30 there were Steph, LeBron, KD, and look at the starting lineups: Tatum, Trey, Morant, um, sorry,
Giannis.
Giannis. You know what I mean. So like all the guys are young. So the
Mhm.
Lakers are definitely older, the oldest team by far. They need to get some young talent, get some draft picks, or try to send a young player. Um, and the old player can be waived, or they can sit on the bench like Jonas Haslam and get free tickets to every NBA game. So um
You can't disrespect Udonis like
I'm not,
this.
I'm not, I'm not, I'm not, I'm not, I'm not, I'm not. No, Udonis Haslam is actually a good leader, so I respect him. Like he actually helps the Heat out because he's a good mentor. But yeah, the Lakers are in a really tough spot right now.
And so I guess one more question about the Lakers is should they, because LeBron, he during the All-Star break at least there was like, oh, he complimented the Cavs. He might want to go to the Cavs. He might go to OKC. He might leave to go to all these places, like wherever Bronny goes. But then LeBron came out after a few days after the All-Star game. He was like, no, I want to be in part of the Lakers until my career ends or until Bronny gets drafted. And he tried to shut down all the rumors. But if the Lakers like go into a rebuild next year, which is kind of
Likely.
what they might have to, there's no way LeBron is staying for that.
Bronny goes to the Raptors. LeBron goes. We got Freddie, Bronny, LeBron, Siakam, Scotty. We're winning the championship. Easy.
LeBronto.
Shut up. We don't need
LeBronto.
we don't need LeBron to. Um, but I definitely think that I don't know. I don't know if he's making the right decision in that. I think if LeBron wants a championship, Cleveland's the right place to be. You got Darius Garland, Von Mobley, Jared Allen, Colin Sexton. All these kids are under 25. Like they're young. So like you got to go with them. So having that and then a LeBron going down the court, yeah, like your team's solid. Even the Cavs right now, like who knows? Maybe in the playoffs they'll make a decent run, maybe second round or first round. So I don't know. I think LeBron needs to go to Cleveland. If Bronny goes to Cleveland and then LeBron goes and they have this and they have like the lineup they have now,
Yeah,
that's dangerous. So
I
yeah.
think they'd be way better. I think they blow out the Raptors by 30 every night.
Shut
If that
up.
lineup. If
We
that
don't
lineup was there.
we don't need to talk about the Raptors every time.
Yeah, I agree with you, but you know what I think? LeBron should go to the Nets to team up with KD and Kyrie. That would be so funny if that happened. Another super team, but like, you know how good that would be?
Kevin Durant's gonna get injured in the first month of the year. Kyrie Irving will still be on the mandate, and LeBron's gonna be playing by himself.
Actually, speaking of Kevin Durant, we wanted to talk a little bit about that, and so he actually finally came back after his injury. I think about almost like 1.5 months ago, and he scored 31. He lost to They lost to Miami. 113-1.
He lost to Miami.
Yeah, I mean, he scored 31. He was carrying the team. There was no Kyrie. No, James Harden's gone. I mean, Ben Simmons isn't playing, so it kind of was KD. But they lost to Miami 113-107. The Nets, oh my. If the Lakers are the number one disappointment, I think the Nets are like number two, and pretty close behind. Because the Nets were literally the first seed before everybody got injured. And before they traded James Harden away and
now
all
they're
that.
the 8th seed.
And now they're the 8th seed. They're still over 500 somehow just because of
No. They're 500.
They're exactly 500. I mean, they're 32 and 32. So they're somehow still like I'm surprised they haven't had a losing record yet, but they've lost like 14 games or something out of their last 20. They just lost a huge amount of games.
Yeah, they had like an 11-game losing streak. So like
yeah, so things have not been going good for them.
I mean, listen, the Nets aren't like the Lakers. They're not a bunch of washed 45-year-olds who can't play basketball.
Yeah, they have a 133-year-old and one guy who refuses to play basketball half the time.
I mean, they have KD. Seth Curry played super well against Toronto both times. When I watched, he played really well. Um, who else? No, I mean their team's solid. It's not like their team's bad. I think like Brooklyn has been so unlucky the past season and a half with injuries. Like it's painful to watch. Like last year during the playoffs, one, you don't have Irving, you barely have Harden. Kevin Durant's one shoe size away from going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Then the next year, Kevin Durant gets injured. Kyrie Irving's on a mandate. James Harden says bye-bye. You get, a decent young, not even young, he's 31 in Seth Curry. You get Andre Drummond, who's out of his prime, if we can agree on that.
Yeah.
And yeah. I mean, there's one guy. Oh my god, I forgot his name. Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas, really well, really good, really good. He has a bright future, but he's really young. He's the rookie. He while they were injured, even though they lost, he had really big games. So definitely a bright future for Brooklyn. So I don't know. Maybe Kevin Durant should just go to Golden State and run it back.
Or maybe he should go to the. He should go. He should go to the Hornets.
No,
That'd be pretty cool. Like LaMelo and KD. Like that would be a point guard duo that he could actually play with.
That'd be terrible.
Why?
Because like LaMelo was an entertainer. Kevin Durant actually like works. The Hornets
We'll see.
The Hornets are 3 games below 500. They're 10th in the East. They're on the verge of going out of the play-in tournament. They're a game and a half behind the Wizards. They have a big baby in Montrezl Harrell. No, I'm kidding. But no, I mean the Hornets are good, but Kevin Durant, LaMelo, it doesn't sound good in my mind. I don't know why.
I guess. I mean, but I think like anything for me at least sounds better than KD Kyrie because Kyrie literally never plays.
Yeah, Kyrie just like sits at home with the popcorn, watches some Nets action in Brooklyn, then goes on a plane, goes on the road, plays a game, comes back, relaxes, goes to practice.
Yeah,
he's probably it sounds like Dennis Rodman. Like remember in The Last Dance, Dennis Rodman, like back in Chicago when he missed practice to go to like Vegas.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah, and I mean, so the Nets, I guess the real big question now is because since Kyrie, like the mayor of New York literally confirmed that Kyrie's situation is they're not gonna give him an exception to be in the stadium or play, whatever. So the big question is, can they get Ben Simmons back before the playoffs? Because Ben Simmons is
actually I heard, I don't know if it was a false source of information, but I saw I know there's so much these days. I saw it on Instagram where they said that like obviously the mayor said that Kyrie cannot play home games, but he can sit on the bench at home. I don't know if that's like false or true. I definitely saw that though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that might be true actually. I think but the real big question is Ben Simmons going to be off the bench and is he going to be on the court? Because Ben Simmons is actually like, yes, there's all the jokes. He can't make threes. He can't shoot.
He can't.
But I know he can't. but he's a 3-time All-Star and he's actually pretty good.
He's a 3-time All-Star?
Yeah, pretty sure he's a 3-time All-Star. It's crazy.
What? Wait, there's no way. Really?
Yeah, he's a 3-time All-Star.
What? Oh, how do you know that? What the heck?
I know, right? It's crazy because I think it was not last year, but the bubble year, 2018, 19.
Yeah.
2018, 19, 2019, 20.
Yeah.
And then probably
it just doesn't feel like a long time ago. It feels recent.
Yeah, and it's crazy because he wasn't even drafted in 2017. He was drafted in 2016. So he's already been in the league for 6 years.
He's old. Dang.
Yeah. And
wow.
he signed that deal with Philly. I mean, I don't even know. Honestly, I really don't get why he tried to go out of Philly. I mean, maybe there's like some reason that the manager, like something behind the scenes, maybe he had a bad relationship with some of the people in the organization or something. But if it was just for like the reason that the Sixers lost in the playoffs, why would you leave? Because they're in a great situation. Like the Sixers were not bad.
Yeah, I think I saw some stuff that he didn't have a good relationship after. Everyone was so pissed at him that like mentally he wasn't okay. Then he had a bad relationship with the G with like I don't know if it was a GM, but he had a bad relationship with somebody from the front office. Then he refused to come. He was pissed. He didn't want to be around anybody. He wasn't ready mentally with all the drama. I mean, honestly, if I was him, I mean, I would say I don't know how it feels to be at that big stage, but honestly, I would probably have a lot of mental stuff. Like I would have a mental overload, if you can say that. Like a lot of stuff on my shoulders about, oh, you
Yeah.
didn't play well. That's why you lost the playoffs. Like so many people hating on you more, probably even way more than people that like you now. And then people making jokes of you. So like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if the Sixers somehow, if they get the 1 seed, the Brooklyn's the 8 seed, Ben Simmons comes back and they have a playoff series, that is going to be scary. Like when Ben Simmons comes to the Wells Fargo Center in Philly, that game, like remember when LeBron returned to Cleveland and they were like throwing cups and like beer on the court and stuff?
But that was in Miami. That was when he was in Miami.
Yeah, I feel like the Sixers fans, because they're so like the Sixers fans are probably like Philly fans are probably like the most intense fans
They are intense.
in America. So I feel like when Ben Simmons comes back, like they're gonna have to have the extra security. They're just gonna have to have like railings everywhere.
I went to a Sixers game before. I went to the Hornets game first when I moved to Charlotte, and I thought the fans were bad. When they played against the Raptors, they were booing when they made a bad call. And then I would go to Philly and the whole stadium's booing. I mean, I watched the Raptors Nets game where they booed Goran Dragic. I'll be honest, I was booing too, but but I don't know. It's gonna it's either gonna be lots of boos or like people trying to like make him feel better, which I doubt it, considering it's Philly. So
They're gonna try and make him feel better.
yeah,
Yeah,
probably not.
I think they're gonna. It's gonna be a big game though. Like it's gonna be so intense, and because Philly fans are they're not gonna forgive him for like sitting out for the season and requesting a trade and all and everything. So I don't know. But if they lose, if the Nets win, like that would be so funny,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah. I'm definitely gonna watch that. But speaking of injuries, we have my boy Mountain Dew Zion Williamson making progress. So Zion makes his return to New Orleans after having rehab in Portland and has reportedly been cleared to start progressing into basketball activities. So, Egbers, do you think he can come back for this season? And since the All-Star break, the Pelicans are 4-0, all blowout wins and are a solid 10th seed. Do you think that they could sneak into the playoffs somehow?
Okay, so for the first question, well, if he is really progressing to basketball activities, like he's playing 5v5s or something, and is really starting to, I guess, start to play with the team, do some scrimmages. I think he could be back for maybe like the first or maybe the last game of the regular season, first game of the play-in or playoffs, wherever the Pelicans are at that point. But I don't think he's gonna be back like next week or something
Yeah,
crazy like
right.
that, especially after how long he's been sitting out. That's usually not how these injuries work. But I think it's good because I think it's good that he's even back in New Orleans because honestly, what I thought was that he would just sit in Portland or sit somewhere else in some other city, get rehabbed, and then just request a trade to leave. Like, because that's what happens a lot nowadays in the NBA. Like, people just request, like Ben Simmons did it.
Yeah.
So
James
I'm
Harden
honest.
did it.
Yeah, James Harden did it. Kyrie did it in Cleveland, and then so I don't. I'm a little bit. I don't. I'm glad that he's coming back because I want Zion to stay on the Pelicans. I don't want him to go to like New York or something. Imagine if he goes to the Knicks.
Him and RJ Barrett and Cam Reddish, all Duke teammates. Dang.
That'd be fun to watch, but like I don't really want the Knicks to be good. It's way funnier when
Yeah.
they're bad.
Yeah, they're like 13 games below 500, 12th in the East. They got a
Had the game
game.
winner. Literally hit on them, buzzer beater yesterday night. That was an insane game winner.
Cam Johnson, man, that was inspirational. They get a crazy game winner from RJ Barrett, then they get game winner on like 10 games later.
Yeah, literally. And so I know I'm glad that I hope Zion stays in the Pelicans. Please don't leave. Like,
Yeah.
have some loyalty. You could become the new Dirk of New Orleans.
Don't leave. Go to New York and get a game winner scored on you your first game.
You know, he should go to New York and then he should score the game winner on them. You know?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Like, I think that's and also like the Pelicans. Like, yeah, they're the 10th seed. They're not that good. I don't think that I think they're gonna make the play and they're gonna lose to the Lakers and be eliminated. But they have a pretty. They're like a bright. They have a bright future. They just got CJ McCollum, who's a really good veteran. He's balling right now. Then they have what's his name? Brandon Ingram, obviously, who's pretty good at basketball, and Zion. Like, that's a good big three.
I thought he's a good golfer, but it's okay. But listen, you're saying the Pelicans are gonna lose to the 65-year-old Lakers?
Yeah.
That's a toughie.
I think Anthony Davis will be back
The
for
Pelicans
that one game.
The Pelicans beat the Raptors by like 30.
And they beat the Lakers by 30.
Exactly.
But I think Anthony Davis will be back, like, for the first game, probably.
What if the game's in New Orleans?
Oh, then I think the Lakers will lose. Well, it doesn't really make a difference for the Lakers because the fans just boo them everywhere. So, I don't know about that one. Russell, yeah, I think the Pelicans will lose. I don't think their playoff chances are very good. But next season, if Zion is starting the season off, he plays like last year. He was literally averaging 28 points per game, which is insane. If he plays like that, they got Brandon Ingram, they got CJ McCollum, they have Jackson Hayes, Nickeil Alexander. Well, actually, no, they traded Nickeil, but Jackson Hayes. They have that new rookie. I forget his name. He's like he says he's the new Patrick Beverly.
Jose, like Alvarado or something.
Yeah, he's the new Patrick Beverly.
Yeah.
They have him too. So I feel like they could make a splash next year. They could probably be like a 8 to 7 seed if everything works out well. So Zion, please don't request a trade. Be loyal, and I think you'll bring a chip to New Orleans.
Be loyal to your city. Come on now.
Yeah, exactly. Like Daniel is to the Raptors. Right?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You know,
except for when you were a Golden State Warriors fan.
I wasn't. I like Steph Curry. What's the problem? Steph Curry is my favorite player, regardless if I like the Raptors or not. Like, and then second is Fred VanVleet, then Pascal Siakam, then OG Anunoby, then Scotty Barnes, then Chris Boucher, then Kem Birch, then Malachi Flynn, then Steve Millichuk. Okay, so on and so forth.
Just the whole Raptors team after.
Exactly, and then maybe Luka. But guys, this is gonna end the podcast. Great podcast. Pretty funny.
Yeah, we got a lot of
yeah, we'll get a lot of shorts in. But anyways, guys, live stream 8:45. Lakers Warriors. We're gonna watch the Lakers get booed. I'll have my commentating skills up. So yeah, guys, make sure to like, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Instagram, and also download it on Spotify. And with that being said, being Agram will see you guys next time.